I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, and I'm located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Monroe, Washington.
Okay.
And welcome to Wheel
live.
Talk.
We're live. Hello, Ryan.
Yes. Hello, Becca. How was your... what were we starting with? How was your day, or what's exciting about what's happening?
Yeah, how was your day?
How was my day?
What did you accomplish today?
So this was like the start of my first week back since vacation. So honestly, with work today, I did not get much accomplished at all. So that was kind of meh. I get distracted easily, like on my phone a lot, or doing these tasks or whatever, or whatnot. So I didn't get too much accomplished during work. And then I started my first Baker Hunt class, first 8-week class back. So that pretty much the whole day. And now I'm talking to you.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nothing too productive, but you know.
Yeah. Today I drove my van back from Leavenworth, Washington to Monroe, Washington. And I drove it in the morning as opposed to Sunday night because we were concerned that there was some ice on the pass because it snowed. And I just like to say also that Ryan and Josh were making fun of me this week because I said that it was cold. And Ryan's like, oh, is cold like 60 degrees? Oh my gosh.
I think I said 50, but...
50, whatever. It snowed.
So what elevation is Leavenworth? Is that like 10,000 feet, or is it in the mountains?
I don't think so, actually. I'll look it up. But, so I drove my van back, and then I didn't want to do anything all day, but I ended up making some pinch pots in like this huge bowl. So that was good.
Okay.
But I don't really need to do anything right now because I'm done.
What do you mean done?
It's 1,171 feet.
1,100.
It's only 1,170.
So it's really just based on the location. Like, was it the same temperature in Monroe this weekend? Was it pretty comparable?
No. Not comparable at all.
So
the way Washington works is that the coast and everything until the mountains is pretty mellow. And then you go up to the mountains, it gets pretty gnarly up in the mountains. And then on the other side, it's like a completely different topography and like totally different climate. So the east side of Washington is very similar to like Colorado, whereas the west side of Washington is very like wet but still fairly warm. We won't get like super cold weather until probably December and January.
Okay. So that was unique to Leavenworth area. We were
kind of, yeah,
super hot this weekend, so it was probably in the 90s. So when you said cold, I was like, what's cold around October time in Washington? Like 50-ish?
Yeah.
So I didn't realize it would be snowing in almost October.
Yeah. No, it was 39 degrees.
Okay.
Outside.
Yeah, that's a little cold.
Yeah, that's a little cold. But speaking of today, what we're going to talk about is the transition from like show season to not show season, or maybe like summer to Christmas, like what that looks like for each of us, and how kind of like our day-to-day changes.
Yeah.
With the difference. So I'm off of a huge show season. So summer's big because I have a show every single weekend, a 3-day show every single weekend.
Yeah.
From May until October. And I actually ended my show a little bit early this year. And then Ryan, he is actually getting into his winter show season.
Yeah, my fall and then winter. So I'm pretty heavy from this past weekend, so the 28th of September to almost all the way to probably December 8th. I'll be doing a show at least every other week for sure.
Yeah.
And
I used to do that.
Pretty steady. I mean, it's getting to be, people are starting to shop for the holidays. They're getting out again while it's not the hottest parts of the year, even though it was in the 90s this weekend. it's fall weather, people are getting out, they're sweater weather and stuff like that and going to shows. And some of the shows start happening indoor, so people are getting out and getting shopping done and things like that. So it's a good time of year to shop. And I'm finding some good shows. Like, I'm having some good shows at this time of year. It's not a lull for me. Right. Honestly, the worst shows for me this year have been in the summer, so I feel like the fall's heating up with the sale times.
Yeah. I don't do any shows during the Christmas season really anymore, except for one at my church, and this year one of my friends and me are going to do a joint show, and it's basically you just leave your stuff there, and it's for a whole month, and it's at a brewery, and they're doing a central cashier, so that, nice. And yeah, and I don't think I'm doing anything else, but I focus on flash sales, wholesale, and retail in the paint your own pot shop in the winter. So, and also this year I'm really gonna do it. Like, I'm actually for sure gonna actually stock up and get product for next summer, because I'm really bad at that usually.
So you're in sitting at the wheel for hours on end and just making, which is what you love to do.
Yeah, I really like winter for that. But also my to-do list right now is so long. I'm already a little bit behind, but I think I can get caught up. It's I for some reason the relief that happens when you don't have to get something done in 4 days is like amazing, Where you're like, "Oh, I have to do this, but guess what? I don't have to get it done in 4 days.
Nothing's going to burn if I don't get it done."
Right, and not only that, but I actually have 7 days to do it instead of 4 days, because in the summer I have 4 days of work to do, and then 3 days I can't do anything. So it's kind of nice to have like those consecutive days.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that part.
Yeah. So I'll probably hit that same time around mid-December.
Right.
Until I don't have a show that I'll probably do until mid to late April. So that'll be my heavy making time.
Yeah,
because I basically live by the show seasons, and spring are heavy. Summer is a little slower, and then fall is heavy, and then it kind of lulls down into the early winter. Winter calling like early to mid December.
Right. Yeah, and I think, as I get off of summer shows, I'm like, people are like, "Oh, are you so excited to be done with Leavenworth?" And I'm like, kind of, like, I am excited to be done with the busyness, but I'm also like scared shitless that I won't have enough money.
Do you add extra classes, or do you have a weekend something or another that you offer, or more events to get people into the shop on the weekends, or something like that?
I try to get people into paint as much as possible in the fall. And last year was great for painting. And then, so I'm hoping that this year is kind of really good too. And I'm changing up my hours in the store, so it involves like both the weekend days, like Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, I'm just it's just like always a little nervous, like, nerve-wracking, because Leavenworth does provide like a pretty steady $1,000 paycheck every weekend, so that's kind of nice. But also,
right.
I am keeping an employee this year for Christmas season, so that should be interesting too. So I have to pay somebody.
Nice.
But they should help with productivity. So
cool.
Yeah.
Because it's probably hard. You got to pay somebody to do a bunch of work with, like, let's say you're stocking up like 1,000 mise en place bowls for the spring or something. You got to pay for all that work up front before you can sell them. So it's a little tougher to front all that, especially with rent and stuff like that. That's constant as well.
Right. And last year, I was looking at my sales last year, and I don't know if you have like a comparison to your sales. So I actually started using Square last year, right around November.
I have a similar thing too. Are you using Are you using the new Square dashboard to look at that? Or is
that is not new, Ryan.
Well, I'm talking about the app that's dashboard that's specific to more of the reporting.
Also, not new.
Oh my gosh, come on. You told me about this and I'm like, okay, now you're making me feel like shit. Alright, whatever.
It's like 4 years old.
The dashboard app? Okay.
Yes. Okay, if nobody knows about this, Square for Apple, not for Android, because apparently Android sucks. That was not me that said that. That is Square that said that through. It's not allowing this. But Square has an app called Dashboard, and it's the purple. It looks like purple data bars.
Bar graph.
And and that app will show you all of your sales analysis. Just kind of like a more in-depth analysis. And you can also, because like the one thing that I always hated about Square was that you could go look at your transactions, but it wouldn't actually tell you how much you sold that day. And so this app does. So you can go on and see how much that you've sold. And that's really nice.
They have reports built into their Square Register app, but you got to dig a little bit. The dashboard is kind of just right there. So.
Right. Oh, also, did you know that they're changing their fees?
Yeah, I saw that. They're changing it to, 22 cents a swipe or something, or a dip or something like that? Is that what it is?
No, it's 27 cents plus 10 cents, I think. I'm not totally positive, but...
Okay.
I thought it was... Well, they're doing a flat fee.
I did see that.
And... Yeah, so it says, the company announced on Tuesday, September 24th, that it will now charge 2.6% plus a 10-cent fee. For example, the fee on a $10 transaction will rise to 36 cents from 27.5. So that's a pretty significant hike.
Yeah, so instead of 2.75 per transaction that's with a card.
Right.
They're going to do 2.6% and then add 10 cents to that per transaction.
Right. So the only sales that will like benefit from this are actually $67 and up. So that's kind of, so if you don't know that that's happening, just so you all know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so last year I started using Square in October, like mid-October. And that's when I started doing like a bunch of night events and open paint nights and all those things. And I kind of was looking back at my sales, and last year my sales were like $7,000 in December, I think, or no, in November. So it's so I'm curious to see how this year goes. So in November, I sold on Square. I sold 6.5, and then in December I sold 6. And so I'm curious to see how that will compare this year, because I don't have any records for anything prior, just to see the comparison. Like I do, but they're in a different system. They're in QuickBooks. So yeah. So I'm just kind of curious. I can see my stuff
from last year that gives me a comparison. And it does it year to date, or not year to date. It gives me the month, so like Jan 1 to September 30th. It's not doing like the whole year versus, until the end of September. So like last year, it looks like on Square I did a little over 5,000 up till this point in the year. And this year I'm at about 12,500, which is really good.
Nice. Yeah.
So it says it's 145% year over compared to last year. which is really good. It looks like last year in total I sold a little over like 8,000 on Square. So
yeah,
I've already beat my last year, by a lot, and we still got like 6 shows to do, or 7 shows or something like that.
nice.
Which is great.
Yeah, I feel like August and September this year were really crappy for me in the shop. So this doesn't include my sales from the like all my shows, because I don't ever do shows with Square because they're central cashier. So so this is just like the paint your own pot and the classes and stuff like that. So it should be kind of interesting to see how the year progresses, and to see if people are spending money like they were last year, and if they're as excited as they were last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is sweet. I'm glad I dug into this app some more.
It's fun, isn't it? It's like, it's always fun to look at your sales and see.
And it's like, how many sales did I have through the end of September? Number of sales was like 164. And this year, I've had a little over 350 individual sales to this point compared to last year.
I have had
350 versus like 160.
Like yeah. Like I said, this is on individual sales. I've had 624 sales this year.
Nice.
And my average sale is $56.
My average sale last year was a little over 31, and average this year is 35, a little over 35.
Wow. That's good. I think any average sale
is the paint your own pot usually is your average because people do it as a pair, and it's usually a couple things done at once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I always sometimes I like when people come up and pay, I'm always like, "Oh my god, I do not want to flip over this iPad," because that's what I ring it up on. It's like an iPad. And sometimes I'm just like, like if I was a parent, I don't know. I'm not a parent, so like I don't know if that's what they expect or not. But the prices are there before they pick everything out, and they know what they're getting themselves into. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt any less. Like when you turn around the iPad and you've got 4 kids and it came up to $100,
Oh,
like that's a lot.
But I mean, how many hours of things was that? Was that like 2 hours of fun? Or...
Yeah, probably like 2 hours. Usually,
okay.
Or like an hour to 2 hours, But still, I mean, I feel like, the average sale for a paint your own pot is high, just because.
But there's a lot of work that goes on past them handing it over to you.
That's true. But yeah, it is kind of exciting at the same time though, because you're like, hey, like one person could pay like $100, and that's really kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much not going to have someone come in there and paint it solo and just spend like $25.
I'll tell you what, though, the people that do paint solo, they spend the most time, too. Like, if somebody comes in
they're getting all their
like
money worth.
Yeah, if somebody comes in and paints like a tiny frog all by themselves, or a tiny elephant or whatever, I guarantee you they're going to spend 2 to 3 hours in there painting that. Because they're just, like, focused. So cool. Focused.
Do you have like a subscription or something that people can pay an amount and they can come do like one a month or something?
No, I need to figure that out. But I also feel like nobody would do it. I don't know.
But like those detailed people, I mean, they would probably do a few over time, especially if they enjoy that meditative kind of work.
Yeah, and it'd be fun to do like a subscription for like plates and... like say, hey, you get 6 plates for this cost, and you can come in and paint them, like however, whatever time you want. But it's a little less cost if you get 6 of them, and then you can use them, and they can be your place setting, or you could do that and then have all your kids paint them or what have you. Would be cool. But
cool.
See, and so that's another thing that this time of year kind of provides me, is that I can kind of think up those sort of things to kind of move on
Get
into
creative.
the rest of the year for like marketing, and I can work a little harder at like getting people in the shop, or so another thing that I do that I don't do in the summer, I don't make lists in the summer because I'm so busy like doing shows. And and in the winter, if I don't have a list, I am screwed because for some reason I always get these random orders, and like I already put up my list on my Instagram and it's like so long already. And that's just like 3 wholesale orders, and I have another one to add to it, and then potentially another one. So it's just lists are a thing for me in the winter. Do you have lists?
Yeah.
Do you make lists?
I mean, do you know me? I probably make lists. I make lists.
Is that even a question?
Well, like my back stock, I just kind of look at what items I'm keeping up with and which ones I'm not. So like right now, I'm kind of keeping up with like the oil bottles. I've probably got about 20 that are finished for my upcoming shows, and I've got about 30 that are going into a bisque right now. So, I'll get those ready and then get those ready to be glazed. So the turnaround on those could probably be a couple weeks, and then I'll start making some more. So that's like an example of something that I know is in demand. It's been popular this year, and I'll figure out if I can keep up with it. If I'm like running low and really struggling by the end of the year, I'll either determine like, hey, these need to go up a couple bucks, which I probably should do anyways by the end of the year, or I need to make a lot more of these at a time. But I think kind of both of those things will kind of come into play. And the lists are basically, like when I was having my show this weekend, I was kind of taking note of what type of items were selling that I was reaching down to restock, like mugs. I sold like 15 mugs or something. And I was looking, do I have a beach glaze mug to replace this one that was just bought? And I didn't.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I need to put more in the box. I know I have some at home, but I need to put more in the box, and that's going to pull from my back stock. And then I'm going to see that empty space on my shelf where those were and be like, okay, the next time I glaze some mugs, I need to do more of those. And then, as the bisqueware of mugs dwindles, I'm like, okay, I need to make more of these type of mugs because they're moving through quicker. So, I'll have a list of, right now I've made a list of like, okay, I need to make more spoon rests because I basically don't have any spoon rests that are in bisque or greenware stage. Before this past Sunday, I didn't have any. So, I'm kind of restocking that. So I'm a little reactive in that sense, but making a list when I'm walking away from a show, because everything's out. I can see everything that I have out in relation to what's in boxes, and then I can look at my back stock and I know like, okay, what's at home? I don't have many spoon rests at home, maybe like 15, and I don't have any of this specific color that I know has the chance of selling. Like there's still a lifespan on this color that I'm like, okay, I need to do some in this color.
Yeah, what do you, speaking of spoon rests, I've always been so surprised that spoon rests sell so well for you. Not because I think your spoon rests are bad, I think they're really amazing, but what do you sell them for, and why do you think they're so popular?
I sell them for $12, and I can tell you right now how many I've sold for the year. So, spoon rests of my almost $12,500 in sales, a little over $1,000 of that are spoon rests.
Holy crap!
And that is 92. So I've sold 92 spoon rests this year.
Oh my god!
And then I have all the numbers
That's
of like
insane.
which type. Yeah, $12 I think is a good
plates,
price
right?
point. They're just little half-pound plates that I use reclaim for them. So all of my slop and all of my trimmings and stuff that get watered down in a 5-gallon bucket, reclaim, throw it on a plaster bat, and I get about 5 to 6 pounds of clay out of that reclaim per bat, per like plaster piece I put it on. And then that just gets wedged up and cut into half-pound balls, and then I just throw those and I throw as many as I have bats for, which is usually about
now you don't make the
17 to 20
little,
at a time.
like, you don't make the rest part, right? You don't make that part.
I have a mixture of both. So when I first started making them, people were looking at them. I started them with the little lip at first, and then people started saying, you know, can I use this as a coaster or a soap dish or ring dish or whatever?
Right.
And I think that's why they sell so well, because they're so multi-purpose. People can use them for whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I always come up, they're like, what are these spoon rests or whatever? And on the table, I have little metal spoons on them to kind of show that that's what they're for.
Yeah.
And I think the way they're displayed, people can kind of like stumble upon a color or whatever that they like. Because what I've been doing the last probably 3 months or so is when I put them on the table and spread them out, you know, in general, I have little piles of them in like threes. And then they can pick them up and like shuffle through them, the different colors in a stack of 3. So they can kind of stumble upon, like, find one that they like, which is fun because it gets it a little more interactive and they can have more involvement in the process than just saying, like, I can see everything that's available and I just pick that one. So
right.
they get to pick them up and look at them. And they're all $12 whether they have a lip or not. So I think that just having more function and more ability to do with whatever you want, I think that's what sells them.
Yeah. I find that having things in baskets or something that people can look through is so satisfying to people. Except for sometimes people take it way too seriously. Like, why do you
do they pick it
like,
up and take it out and look at it? Actually, that would probably work pretty well for the spoon rests. If I have enough of them, I can just have like a basket sitting somewhere and just have like, because that's kind of how I store them in my boxes. I have a bin and I just stack them all like horizontally in a row.
Yeah, I would have them like a CD case almost. Yeah, like with the mise en place bowls, the little hand built bowls that we have. I found really early on, so I put them in a table that's it's a hanging board essentially in the middle of my booth, and I have the garden stakes in the front. And then I have a basket that our metalworks guy welded me some things so none of the bits would fall out. And that basket is right there. And there's room on each side. And the room on each side is used heavily for, it's people like pick through it and then they set them on each side and they see which ones they like together. And I have had them where there wasn't any room next to them, and they haven't sold as well because people need to like take them out and put them down and see how they work and see how they look and all those things. And it's just so interesting how the mind works. You know, they do that with garden stakes too. And they'll take them and they'll set them all next to each other to make sure that they look good together, which is ridiculous because they're not going to be next to each other in the ground. but you know, that's what they do, and they really enjoy that part.
Nice.
But
yeah, it looks like I'm comparing 2018 to 2019, and I'm guessing the quantity here. It looks like I sold 58 spoon rests at this time last year, and now I'm at 92. The price has been the same. I've just sold more of them.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then like shot glasses, I've been selling. I think I've been selling pretty good quantity since I changed the price on those. I changed those up to 3 for $18 or 1 for $7. So those have been selling well too. I've been keeping up with quantity of those. I have so many, but I think I'm going to try the basket thing. Maybe I'll try that before the end of the year because it takes up less space.
Try the basket thing.
I'll have to find a basket that works with my kind of color. Maybe I need to get like a wooden basket that I can line with some cloth or something that looks good.
Yeah, wood or wicker. Either one would be fine. What was I going to say? Oh, I think that we should also talk about the really good stocking stuffer, easy to make ideas. Since we're talking about like transitioning into Christmas, I feel like Christmas is the land of mugs and the land of stocking stuffers and the land of ornaments. Those are the 3 things that I feel like sell the best at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Mugs, stocking stuffers, ornaments. And you can make so much money on your little tiny things that you sell for nothing at all. So much money. So like you and your shot glasses, you and your spoon rests. Do you have anything else that's small that sells well?
I don't have anything else that's small besides ornaments. And I don't really make that many ornaments. I got a bunch that were bisqueware that I have sitting around that I made at the end of last season that weren't glazed yet. So that's kind of what I'm glazing for this year. And I probably have maybe like 60 of those or something like that. Not too many.
Yeah.
And those, I'll probably price those the same as my shot glasses. So 3 for $18 or 1 for $7. And then if they buy a certain amount, I'll probably throw one in their order because I like to get rid of them. Kind of. Or like a little holiday thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I do. The mise en place bowls are great stocking stuffers. Those are 3 for $10. The my pinch pots, which are not pinch pots, but they're thrown small bowls. A pinch of this, a pinch of that. Those are $7 each, or 3 for $18. Following in Ryan's footsteps. And
I was following in your footsteps. That's how I priced them. I think we talked about this like 9 months ago, and we were talking about how to price them, and you told me about your pinch pots pricing. So.
Right. Well, you wanted to price them at $7, and I told you to price them at $7, but then put a deal behind it too because you'll sell way more.
Yeah.
Yeah. People like sets of 3.
Yeah.
Sets of 3 are people's shtick. And then last year I sold these things that we called witty word mugs, and they have funny sayings on them. And they're just little badges with words on them. And they're everything. Like coffee stuff, but also like Yetis with the word believer under it, or unicorns with believer under it. And so this year, I'm making round disc ornaments with those words on them. And I'm excited about it. Excited to see how they do. So I think they'll do really well. I'm especially at that show. There's the show that I am just setting up and leaving it there. I think that they have trees that we could hang up ornaments on, and so I'm going to hang them up there and see how it goes. So.
I just started making some of those ornaments that are the carved ones. Did you see? I probably had an Instagram video a few weeks ago with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only made like probably 60 of those total. But they're going to be priced higher, so maybe I'll have enough. But I was wondering if I should maybe see if I can do that. And I was making them a Baker Hunt because we had a slab roller there. And I can roll out a good slab versus throwing a slab and cutting it out. So I think I'm going to try. I'm thinking of ways that I can get more stocking stuffers and utilize my assistant's time. Since I have 2 that I can work from. You can make mise en place bowls.
Get a mini slab roller, Ryan.
How much is a mini slab roller? Like $500?
The mini ones are $500, $400 something, maybe $300.
How much table space is that? Is that like a 3 foot by 5 foot kind of space?
No, it's like 18 inches by like 24 inches.
Really?
Yeah. They're awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know if I want that in my home, though.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I've never bought any ceramic equipment new, I don't think, so. That's the cheap ass coming out.
Dude, I remember when I got my slab roller, the mini one, because I was doing word mugs. And I remember when I got it, and it was one of those moments where it was like, how the hell did I live without this?
And I could store it underneath a table, or can you kind of stand it on its side? It doesn't, it's just tabletop, right?
Yeah, it's just tabletop.
Okay, maybe I'll look into that. What's the brand on one of those?
I think I got the Bailey one. It worked fine.
Okay.
I ended up giving it to Val.
So maybe I could utilize Maybe I could do some of that and have them roll out some slabs and maybe even do some stamping and get the pieces out and just say, hey,
yeah,
see what you can get out of, 10 pounds of clay or whatever.
I got to start making ornaments, disc ornaments for Paint-A-Pot too. Those were super popular last year.
I did those when I was doing those round ornaments. I did the trick that you and Rachel from Hillbit Clay were doing with the plastic over it, and you stamp it so you can get them nice and round, which is nice. So
I got that from Rebecca at Graves Company.
Oh, really?
Graves Co.
I saw Rachel doing it, and I was
she did it because I did it, and then I did it because Rebecca did it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring, especially in the pottery world. So what he's talking about is you put a slab down and then you put saran wrap on top, and then you cut through the saran wrap, and then it leaves a nice, clean, rounded edge, and it's wonderful.
Yes.
So
I'll try and do that. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just roll slabs out at Baker Hunt and bring slabs home and see how that goes.
Yeah, I actually stopped doing it because it was wasting so much plastic. But I don't know. I mean, it makes a difference for a lot of things. I'd like to see if I could find something that was reusable that did the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's got to be a certain thickness of...
I wonder if Tyvek would do it, like a Tyvek envelope or something like that, because you can't really cut that.
Yeah. You just got to get down close enough to whatever surface it's on that it can actually get through the piece cleanly without leaving a little sliver of clay between each one.
Right.
Because then you still got to clean that up, but...
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, okay, I want to talk really quick about, because I don't know if anybody does full-time pottery that listen to us. I don't know how many people actually listen to us, but I don't check the stats.
I do.
Can you look at it on your phone?
Yeah, you can look on Buzzsprout, their website.
Oh, then I'm like an app person. I don't do websites.
Do you want to guess what the most listens on any one episode was?
Oh, sure.
As of September 30th, what do you think the most number of listens on a single episode was?
I think it was 140.
No. Higher. It's 189. Really? So Motivation as a Maker has got the most listens as of September 30th. We have 189 listens on that one episode. And total, it looks like... I don't know how they figure out what is considered a listener exactly. They have some algorithm, but it shows 231 listeners.
Wow.
And all-time total plays... I'm guessing that's any individual episode. Is 858.
Wow.
People are listening out there.
People are listening. Okay, so anyway. So, moving on to the stuff that you guys want to hear about, not just us. So I was going to say that for somebody who, and I've done this for years, but as a full-time potter, because I've been, as I think we've mentioned, but I don't know, I've been a full-time potter for 4 years. 5 years? 4 years. 5 years. 5 years. 5 years. And I once show season is over, and once you don't have any shows, it's really hard to get motivated. And so I try to do something regardless of what I need to do, like what's on my list, but I try to make something that's not on my list at least once a day, if that makes any sense. So today I made a bunch of pinch pots, and I made a huge bowl. And I think that I'm going to try this year to make a pretty significant piece once a day, because I noticed this year that I was selling more of my bigger pieces if I had them out and if I priced them accordingly. So I want to make sure that I have enough backstock. Backstock is really hard for me because it's I I don't know how and I don't know why, but I sell as I make. I can't really keep up, I guess. I
It's a
also
moving
am kind of
target for
lazy,
you.
yeah, I also am kind of lazy though, which people don't really get unless they actually know me. Like Ryan knows that, and my best friend Andrew knows that. And then I always say this, and people are like, "No, you're not." Like somebody was like, "Well, you're the most productive lazy person I've ever met," but but I'm like fake productive. So anyway, but I set challenges for myself as I get into the season of like drought, as you will, like
Mm-hmm.
where you're not selling anything, but you still have to make stuff. Just because you're not selling something, especially as a full-time potter, doesn't mean you shouldn't be making things. And I do what I call as flash sales on Facebook, and I will sell my products to my customers at a wholesale rate or just above wholesale, and do like a large quantity, and that's what I sell those during the winter, and that's how I can kind of keep up my sales. And I but I also will say, okay, like I think 2 years ago I did 700 pieces in 7 days. Where
Damn.
that was like, I know, it was insane, and I made it too. I did it, and that was trimming, throwing, firing. I didn't glaze, but I did. I fired them all to bisque.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was insane. So I did like 100 pieces a day. Um,
Damn.
and but it only took 7 days. And you know what that did was that like
Just 100 pieces a day?
Yeah, it only took 7 days, and I took the like the week off from, it was like a week off from classes, so I didn't have to talk to anybody, and I just like hammered them out, and it was so satisfying. It was like so motivating. And then last year, what did we do? 42 a day till May. Was it 43 a day till May?
43 a day, I think. Yeah.
Which I failed miserably, but I think I knew that I was going to fail at the beginning, but I
just start early and be like 22 a day until May.
I'm going
start
to.
like right now.
I think that I can start now. And so, but I made something a day until May, essentially. I wanted to make sure that every single day that I was working, that I was making something. Obviously you have to give yourself vacations and stuff, but
so when you say challenges earlier, are you talking, it sounded like you were making daily challenges to make something new, but do you feel it benefits you to do, personality-wise, to do daily versus weekly versus monthly?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you're a numbers person, so I feel like you're driven by numbers to meet number goals. So this saying, I want to make, 200 pieces this week or 150 pieces this week, does that help? Because I feel like your daily stuff just keeps, if you don't get it done, that just keeps piling on. And we generally overestimate our efforts, I think. Humans are kind of hard at estimating, so we probably overestimate what we can get done.
Right. Well, I think what is also important is that even though I am a numbers person and I set goals, like daily goals, my day restarts. I've never been one of those people who is like, well, I was supposed to make 43 pieces yesterday, but I only made 35. So I have to make that up today. Especially when I don't have like an end goal, like a solid, like I need this amount of pieces for this, show. I'm pretty okay with being like, okay, I didn't make it, but I'll try again today, And I don't get down on myself, this has taken a long time to like, actually be okay with, but I don't get down on myself when I don't make a goal.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Do you make certain adjustments to try to adjust your behavior so that you
reach it?
don't get distracted so you kind of stay on track, or is it small mental things that keep you on track so that you don't just say, "Oh, I'll get it tomorrow" or something like that, and you're never like really learning from it? Are there things like that you do?
No, I don't think so, because I think it's just a personality thing for me where I have a pretty high expectation for myself, and if I don't meet it, then whatever, but I'm not gonna lower my standards, I suppose. Well, maybe, I don't know. I guess my lists have gotten significantly less this year, especially with owning the shop, having like daily goals of doing things that just, I think, that used to be realistic aren't realistic anymore. So I guess it's, trying to like make it fit my schedule, but also I want to push myself, and I don't want to feel like I'm being lazy. And do you go through the January slump?
The January slump is what it sounded like you said?
Yeah,
you cut out there for a second. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming that you just take extra time and you're just not doing work.
I feel like every year in January, I'm like, I hate pottery.
I mean, I think there's definitely a adjustment, because things in the winter, like small things that you don't really think about now and we take for granted. Like my studio is very comfortable right now. It's 70 degrees down there. It's very comfortable. When it gets to be colder, it gets cold down there. Like, I mean, it's not as cold as some studios that are in warehouses, but I mean, it's probably like in the 50s or like 60 or something like that. Like, that's not as comfortable to work in. Yeah. So I might not go down there as quickly, or, I'm more affected by things like that. So if that could tie into what you're talking about. And then things like, it gets darker sooner. So it's already dark at like 5 o'clock or 5:30. So that kind of thing could make an effect. But,
I feel like a lot of the artists that I know and a lot of the people that do kind of like push really hard in the winter for Christmas go into this like huge depressive state in January, and it's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be here. I don't want to like touch clay. I don't want to touch my paintbrush or anything like that.
Maybe I'm kind of tapered off from that because my last show is like the 8th of December, so I don't really have to do anything super big, the rest of the month of December, so I can kind of get ready for the holidays and like having time away and not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, and you have a job
hit it
too.
hard after the new year.
Right, and you have a full-time job, so it's not like for me, I have to get most of my money between December 1st and December 24th because I know that January is going to suck, and so I have to like pound it hard and get as much out of everybody that I can, or else I'll suffer the consequences,
Right.
So, but so I feel like that's kind of, I don't know what we were talking about. We kind of went on a tangent there.
That's all right.
I feel like this whole podcast is a tangent.
That's all right. It was good. It was
candid.
It's
kind of been fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably, I think I'm basically in restock mode in a lot of that during the winter months once January hits. So I don't know. It's hard to judge like where my days differ. I mean, I think I'll be back into a consistent, basically what I'm doing now with the classes. So I'll still have my Baker Hunt class on Monday nights, and the only difference is I probably won't have anything on the weekends. So instead of shows and things like that, I mean, the shows don't really affect my production throughout the week that much because I basically keep going production-wise Tuesday through Thursday. And then I'll usually pack up my car Friday night. And that's basically my Friday night to get ready for the weekend show. Saturday I'm at the show all day, selling, making money, and then I get back and I might jump in the studio a little bit, I might not. And then Sunday I'll usually be in the studio all day, or for most of it. So I really don't lose but like 6 or 8 hours of my week if I have a show going on, realistically, because I only do like 1-day shows typically. So usually I'm only missing about 8 hours of studio time a week. So I'll gain that back during the winter and really be in restock mode again. And just kind of cranking away. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited. I feel like this year I've got a handle on my brain, and it's taken me a couple of years to like get comfortable with like not being motivated but still working. So just like having a goal and working towards it, and not being like, I don't want to work today. But this year has also been hard in that sense too, like this summer. But I just feel like I've made processes within my clay that makes things so much more enjoyable, like handling or not trimming. Thank you, Ryan. And I feel like you pushed me.
I'm gonna tell everyone, get out of trimming. It's wasting your time.
I know, it's so amazing. Like I like enjoy making mugs now, which is really cool. And which I used to not like super enjoy it, but now the whole process is fun for me. And I'm excited. I'm excited this year to have like a pretty set set product line and have fun glazes and try to sell, those mugs. And I think it's going to be great. We'll see.
Do you see all these other holiday sales and things that people do online and be like, oh man, I should do a holiday sale or like a Cyber Monday sale or something like that? But you do your flash sales, so that's kind of your winter sales. Yeah.
I do flash sales pretty regularly.
I think I felt that way when I saw your flash sales last winter, and that was where I was getting all list making and like jotting down all my notes for what I've learned from you about the flash sales, and I've never done it. I just don't think I can keep up with quantity to do it, but
yeah, and I have a very unique customer base.
And I mean, you thrive in the wholesale kind of game, so like it's just like another wholesale order for you, honestly, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a better wholesale order
because it's coming directly to you, and there's not as much pressure.
Right, and it's fun too.
You dictate
and
it and all that.
People get excited about it, and they look forward to it. Like, everybody's like, when are you going to do a mug flash sale? When are you going to do this? And so it's kind of like become this thing. And yeah, I feel like maybe I should make like a whole Facebook group dedicated to flash sales, but then I probably wouldn't make as much money. But I'm excited.
You're talking about for your customer base, or you're talking about to share ideas about flash sales?
No, for my customer base, like my my best friend has a group called Andrew's Hot Deals. And he sells his stuff on it.
Yeah.
And
only for the VIPs.
Go look up Andrew's Hot Deals on Facebook and join his group if you want mugs that say sassy things on them.
You know what else we have coming up this winter?
Huh?
You want to guess?
God, in what context?
We have something coming up this December time frame ish that we've done the last year that we're going to continue.
Oh my God, we should probably start thinking about that. We're doing pot swap this year. Oh yay, we get to find out how unorganized Becca is and how organized Ryan is.
We can see if we can automate some of this. We need to pull in a third party to help us do this stuff. Maybe we can get Josh to help or something like that. Another.
Yeah, Josh, if you're listening, you're gonna help us. No questions.
Yeah. So he said he's a stay-at-home dad. He's got time. So yeah.
Oh, sure, a stay-at-home dad that teaches and makes millions of pots.
So Pot Swap 2019.
Pot Swap 2019. I'm excited about it. Last year was great. We had 100 people.
We had like 120, I think, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll figure that out. If you're interested and you don't know what we're talking about, look up in Instagram #PotSwap2018, and you'll see all the good stuff from last year, and get in on the fun for this year. It doesn't cost anything.
Yes.
It's from the kindness of Becca.
It only
Nice
costs
Hearts.
your time, your love, and postage. That's all it costs. Your time, your love, and postage.
Yes.
Which may be very expensive if you're shipping it to England.
But we can iron out some of those details and see what we can do.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And then we'll be seeing each other this January too. So
yeah,
at
ClayCon West
in St. George, Utah.
In St. George, Utah, and I will be doing a workshop on efficiency while glazing. Not glazing. I don't like glazing.
I was going to say glazing. I thought I was throwing. That's what I was like. What do you do? How to glaze a pot in 45 seconds? I thought you were going to throw a pot.
No. Efficiency when you're throwing, and how to better kind of like clean up your act, as you will, when you're throwing, and make efficient movements, and also I really want to have a throwing competition at the end.
Nice.
I think it'd be fun to have a
I probably need to register for that.
You need to do it today.
Does the thing go up October 1st?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to do that. All right, I'll do that after we get off. And there will be some other folks there. So we might be chatting, podcasting.
Yeah.
We'll be meeting some folks. I've never been
there.
It'd be fun to have
like a roundtable discussion with podcasts.
Yeah, that would be cool. And Ryan
like
Reich's
one mic
there.
and 7 people.
Nice. Yeah. So I chatted with him about it, and he was saying he was going, and should be good. So, yeah, looking forward to it. Let's get on this application.
Winter's gonna be great, guys. Winter is gonna be.
Yeah. So there's no lull in the. Just because it's the winter.
It's just different. I thought that I was like, sweet, Leavenworth's over, I can have a little break. But my list is like 2 pages long already. So, there are smaller pages than I had last year, but they're still 2 pages long.
Early registration. All right. Well, let's get this. I'll get this taken care of, and then we'll get ready for a nice.
He doesn't even have his head in the game.
Yeah, what's up with this? Come on.
Okay, so
I feel like Becca right now.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we end, Ryan?
I don't think so. Looking forward to this winter, but got a lot of shows. Got a lot of money to make coming up before I hit my lull period. Yeah,
we should do when okay, it's October 1st right now. Well, tomorrow's October 1st. But we should do a podcast on January 1st or January 2nd, and then do a review of sales. So, Ryan, nice. I want to hear how much you think that you will make between October 1st and January 1st.
Why can't I just give you a total for the whole year?
Because we already know. Oh. Okay, fine.
So I got to think about it. All right. From now till the end of the year, I think I will sell. Oh crap! I just know my square sales.
Or what's your goal to sell?
I don't know that I had an end-year goal, but let's say if I can sell in total, including everything, wholesale and all that, if I could sell 20K, that's a goal for me. Just looking at where I'm at, I'll say 20K.
Total.
Yeah. And that's based on knowing that I sold about 12,500 in my Square sales up till now. And I don't even know what the rest of the sales are. I'd have to look at my chart to see where I'm at in relation to the rest of the year. Or in relation to other sales besides just Square sales. But yeah, that's probably doable.
So I want to make 20,000 in the 3 months.
Okay. Nice.
I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's my goal.
So I'm probably being conservative on that then. I don't know. Different goals. We'll see.
Well, we have different businesses too.
Yeah. I don't know what my well, you had your goals for the year, right? You had a certain amount that you wanted to sell for the whole year. And
I'm not.
And that was yeah, you said like 60K, I want to say, right, for the year, and you were shooting for that. Is that what it was? That's not what it was?
No, my original goal was 160K, but I'm not going to hit
160K. Oh. Okay, so I got the 60K right, just missing the one.
You got the 60K, yeah, you just missed the one. No, but
because you got all the expenses. 60K would be like no profit.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not going to happen. Last year I hit about 74, and I think that I'm going to hit about the same this year too. I don't know for sure. Yeah, I think that I'll probably hit about 75.
Okay. Actually, I'm way off. I'm totally gonna hit 20K easily if I'm comparing all of my sales. I'm already at about 17.5. So that should be easy, unless I have like complete rainouts or something and it's terrible. So maybe I'll adjust that. Maybe I'll say, let's say 20, stretch goal 25.
25 total?
Yeah, I'm at 17.5 right now.
Okay. Well, I'm down for this year. I think that last year, between October and December in Square, I made 15. So, yeah, I'm shooting for 20. Maybe nice. 25. It would be awesome if I hit 25 total with wholesale. That'd be friggin' awesome.
Nice. All right, this end of the podcast is definitely going to be something that people want to listen to. So, I hope you really enjoyed that, folks, and then you can hold us accountable when it comes to the end of the year.
Yeah, I hope that. I also want to say that, like, I hope that you guys know that me and Ryan are just modest people. Like, we, that's, like, those numbers are not our profit by any means. That's our, those are our sales. And, I live in an office somewhere, and I don't spend any money on myself. And so I hope you guys, and, like, I don't by any means have a luxurious lifestyle. So, I just want everybody to know that when we talk about this stuff, we're talking about it because we're excited about business and we're excited about numbers. And it's not that we're bragging or anything, because I don't really know if there's anything to brag about.
Yeah. I'm mainly comparing myself to myself. Like, I'm excited about where my trajectory is in comparison to last year. Like, when I look at like how many spoon rests I've sold this year compared to last year. Like, it's crazy, and it's all the same price. It's just like finding ways to sell better and like getting to the right markets. You're selling more items because you're in the right market and you're getting more things to customers. So like little things like that, and picking and choosing what shows you do, like all those things come into effect, and they're going to, allow me in the future that when these numbers get to a certain point where I'm making enough to, sustain myself and my expenses aren't as high and things like that, like I'm going to have more profit, and it's going to allow me to do this full time. So when I'm talking numbers, like I'm excited about, that's more money I'm saving and going into savings to build this to be even bigger. And that's what I'm excited about. So when I'm throwing numbers out, I'm totally comparing to myself in relation to my previous years and things like that. And that's totally what I'm using for comparison. So like me and Becca throwing numbers out, I'm not really comparing to her, but I'm kind of judging the goals, like how we push ourselves to, like, in relation to where you're at, how far are you pushing your goal to the end of the year, and like how big is that stretch, and
right,
how much do you hold yourself to that.
And I'm looking at my expenses right now, and just so that you all have kind of like you all have kind of like an idea of what we're talking about, and why, I feel comfortable saying all this stuff is because, my expenses this year have been astronomical. Like, I spent 10 grand on power this year.
Like electrical stuff, yeah, because you had to get your boxes and stuff fixed and
on getting
rewired.
New kilns and getting new electrical. So, my total expenses, I'm not looking to make a lot of money this year. So, and that's kind of, I feel like that needs to be said, just so that you're aware. I mean, I spend $1,800 a month on rent for a shop. So, total for the year, that's a lot of money. That's going to be like $17,000 in.
Yeah.
So that needs to be said. I feel like, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression of us. So,
yeah.
Not that I don't think they will, because we are pretty genuine. But yeah. So I just feel like that needs to be said. So anyway.
Yeah. Thanks for saying it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this year, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll do another recap video or recap podcast in January about sales. So
yeah, I'm happy to get this one out.
Yay! He's all smiling. I wish you guys could see him right now. He's very happy about himself right now.
So smiley.
So smiley. Okay,
we've got three more months, and the year will be over. So, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me or Ryan, you can follow us on our Instagrams. My Instagram is 5 Lines Pottery Studio. It's the number 5. And his Instagram is at RD Ceramics. That's R as in Ryan, D as in Durban, Ceramics. And we would love for you to follow us, but we would also love it if you gave us a review on whichever platform that you're listening on, and if you tell your friends. We really enjoy doing this, and we hope that we can do it some more and have some great conversations. Thanks!